where quality business information is needed. We bring you On the Mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King, the partnership guru, as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike Monday through Friday, because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
Best business show in RVA. On the Mic with Mike in RVA.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Mike King here. This is the best business radio. Well, we're the only daily business radio program in the market. That is the Richmond market. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. The views expressed here are mine. I have no connection to, support, of, agreement with any of the hosts. Information ads on the station. I don't work for the station. My program just airs here on a daily basis. What we do is we talk to the best and the brightest. I'd like to thank our sponsors of the program, like one is sitting next to me, Karen Webb from the world famous Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Already new to the gig. 2 weeks on the job. Everything is great.
Everything's good.
Everything's great. You came back again.
I did.
You're rolling in there solo. You understand how sophisticated this program is.
It is.
It is. Nobody sees what happens behind the scenes. Duct tape and glue holding this thing together. All righty, Karen, welcome back, ma'am. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm the president of the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce, and we're an organization that is a membership organization that helps to enhance daily business and to train and teach what businesses need, and to build a cohesive business network within the county.
So you are from the nonprofit world, but before you were kind of specific in what you did. Now it's general. You're talking to all kinds of business people. What's the word on the street now? What are people, you're talking and people now, you're just starting to get a feel of it. What are people saying about their views for 2024?
There's a lot of optimism out there. I think some of the feelings that we're getting is that things are beginning to settle down and go back to whatever today's norm is. And I know one of the big subjects everybody's talking about is, do you have to be in your cubicle at work 5 days a week, or can you do hybrid, or can you work from home? And what they're finding, and it seems like from what the research is saying, is that employers are more concerned about keeping their employees happy than they are about having seats and butts in the office.
Ma'am, I come from the old school.
Mm-hmm.
And the old school is, we came into the office, we complained about being in the office. They told you something would take 2 weeks to get done. You walked over to Sue. 13 minutes later, it was done.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't good for processes. So for all our, processes people out there, we are not condoning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way things work. You build a certain camaraderie. You build a culture when people in the room. You as a CEO, how do you make the culture that Bob is here, Sue is there, Mike is here? How do we, to me, I know we have to do that now, but there is just something special about being in a room together.
Well, and the research goes on to say that part of the problem with not being in the office with an entire team all the time is that it's very difficult to rise up in the ranks.
I saw that.
The promotions, to better your level of where you are, and to get increasingly more experience so that you can go up the ladder the way you want to.
Think about when you're in an office, the things that you learn from that person over there that was not directly related to what you did. How do I get that at home now?
Yeah, it's very difficult through Zoom, and don't take Zoom away from us because
true.
it's convenient, and it's been very good, but not as the constant. That needs to be the backup plan for us for convenience and quick stuff and that kind of thing. But you don't learn that anymore. You don't, people don't know how to have face-to-face conversations very much anymore. And that's a difficult thing, especially in some of your sales kinds of positions and businesses, that if you don't know how to have a relationship with or strike up a conversation with somebody, you're really struggling because it can't be done by email.
It was something before. As a salesman, all you do is run the street.
Mm-hmm.
You stop in messing with people. Hey, well, I just happened to be in the area, whether you were or you weren't. You came by, you saw people. We did windshield time. We sat down. We did all those things that was needed that you can't do by, a call or Zoom. We used to go to California or Texas. So when I was at AccuWeather, we would go. Yeah, when we'd go to Dallas. But we would also go to Waco and all these other smaller places. And people were like, you guys really came? It's different than hearing a voice. That was back then. Now you're seeing somebody on Zoom. We've gotten to the point now where like, we've never met in person.
Right.
But all of a sudden, there is a value to that. So that is the Mike King soapbox moment right there. But I did see that where people were not getting promoted as fast who were not in the office. Yeah. Management builds a relationship. The people that you see, it's different than, okay, ma'am, I'm not going to. That's right. We are here talking about all the great things happening in business, but people are confident out in the street. They're feeling good, but they have to because you have to work as hard to retain your people as well, because somebody's going to poach your people.
Right. And if they're good and they're young and they're driven, you don't keep staff like we used to keep staff. But then we don't stay that long either. I know I've stayed in a job for 20 years, and now the norm for a CEO in a position is about 3 years, is what we're seeing. And it's because we don't have those relationships. We're not building any of that kind of stability and consistency for ourselves.
You would think that by changing jobs, that's the one thing we really would need are having people skills.
Yeah.
Because when you go to a new place, it's hard. Even something most basic is, where's the restroom?
Right.
Oh no, you have to get somebody to show you the basic thing. What's the culture of the place? You have to be able to interact with people that you don't know.
Right.
There you go. All righty, Karen Webb is here. How can people find out information about the world famous Chesterfield Chamber?
Obviously, our website, chesterfieldchamber.com, has a wealth of information on all our upcoming programs and events and all of the committees that we have. And we're always looking for new committee members, and especially we're looking for more businesses to become part of our network and become part of the chamber.
That's right. So we can talk to Jonathan is out there. He is out there talking. Excuse me. This cold is really getting to me. So what we're doing is Jonathan is out there talking about becoming a member of the chamber. Bad weather wiped out the luncheon.
Yep.
It wiped out the luncheon.
It did.
Okay. A lot of people were ready for it to happen. And okay, so we're going to have it next month. Thanks, sir. Alrighty, so let's talk about what's new and upcoming with the world famous Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, our big up and coming is this week on Thursday, the 17th. And this is going to be our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee kickoff breakfast for the year. And we're really excited about all of our DE&I activities, but even more so this year because we're going to ramp it up and get more people involved and more people with their ideas on how we further DE&I activities in the county, within the businesses, and then hopefully it will trickle down from there to the community as a whole.
And where's that located?
That's going to be at Servpro.
Servpro.
Thank you.
Shout out to Servpro. They really are great sponsors of the Chesterfield Chamber. Their facility is amazing. And they've always, one of the great parts that you always want as chamber members is really to have members who support you and open up their facilities. Yeah. That's going to be something. We had a conversation last week about diversity, equity, and all those things. So, and who's the new person who runs diversity?
Don't ask me.
Kaisha.
No, Kaisha was last year.
Last year.
Kaisha is now chair-elect for the board of directors.
Ooh.
So she's moving up, and next year will chair our board, which is exciting. And of course, this year our chairman is Bernadette Spencer, which I'm loving being part of her team, and that's wonderful.
She knows a bunch of people. She is she's dynamic when she's out there doing all amazing things. Okay, so that's Diversity Symposium is coming up on Thursday. What's next?
The other two that I do want to highlight are somewhat ongoing. But our chamber sponsor initiative will be opening up the 1st of February.
CSI?
Yes.
You had the music, so we should have the Mark Bowen music.
Yeah, we do.
We don't do it justice without him.
But what that entails is businesses who are sponsoring our committees and all of the activities they're doing through the year, like the DE&I initiative. And we're not only grateful for our sponsors, we rely on them really heavily.
And so that's a cool part. So now I just want to know, as a shameless plug, Mike King is a sponsor for the newsletter that comes out on Monday, as well as the Diversity and No, it's not mine. It's the Chamber Legislative Happy Hour. Those are mine, and those are the things that I find important and that work for me. There is something there for everybody.
Absolutely.
Whatever your price point is, whoever you're trying to meet, there is something there for you.
Absolutely.
Everyone from the gala to, the lunches to being part of whatever it is that involves with the chamber, there is something there for you. So make sure you check out the Chesterfield Chamber and all the folks there to find out about the community CSI.
Right.
That we're just going to leave it at
okay. Yeah, the Chamber Sponsorship Initiative.
That's exactly what I was going to call it, ladies and gentlemen. The Chamber Initiative. Yes. Right. Okay. Alrighty. So those are the things. Anything else that's new and exciting?
The other thing that I want to alert people to, and we mentioned it last week, but the very first Chesterfield Restaurant Week will be actually 10 days, March 29th through April 7th. The website for that has gone live. And so restaurants can go on and apply to be part of the week. So if anybody listening has a favorite restaurant that you'd like to have part of this, please encourage them to fill out an application, and we will work with them in order to get everything up and running. The beneficiary for this will be the Chesterfield Food Bank. And we are very excited to be able to combine the Restaurant Week activities with the food bank, and think it's going to be just a great time for all.
The amazing work over there with the friends over at the Chesterfield Food Bank. I mean, they are, I remember during the pandemic, and not just then, but now, food insecurities, they are out there fighting that in the county. And from leadership to the volunteers that's out there. All right, ma'am, let's talk about the chamber. Your staff is humongous. What do you have, like 30, 40 people on your staff?
I have 2 plus an intern.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, you know what? So that means we love the volunteers.
Yes.
So, and you come from that world of volunteers helping out.
Right.
Explain to the listeners the value of what volunteers mean to a nonprofit.
I think one of the first things that most of us don't think about that is value from volunteers is their ideas. One of the things,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, especially with a small staff like what the chamber has at this point in time, we can get tunnel visioned on, all right, we have to have this committee meeting, and oops, there's that event, this, action and whatever, and we forget to be creative because we just don't have the time. Volunteers coming in are where our creativity comes from. It's where the meaningfulness of what we have comes from. Our committee members are amazing. I sat through a couple of different committee meetings last week, and they were just buzzing with ideas so much that I felt like my head was spinning in a good way, because there was just so much creativity going on around the room. And we can't do without our volunteers. Of course, we need volunteers for things like our Chamber Night Out, the gala, the golf tournament, those types of events. Volunteers are the backbone of the success of those kinds of events.
All right, ma'am, you've been in the nonprofit world for a long time. I always say we need to keep that going the next generation. Let's get the sales pitch for a person looking to go into the nonprofit world or thinking about it.
Okay. I think one of the things that you can gain from being a person coming into the nonprofit world is you gain your own heart more than anything. Whether you come in as somebody's going to serve or somebody who wants to take care of people, that is all wonderful. But what it ends up doing is building your heart as well as the people that you're working with, their hearts as well. And that makes us a kinder community, and it's something we cannot do without. And the nonprofit sector is not for everybody by any stretch of the imagination. I can remember years ago having a board member tell me that she wanted to do what I do when she retired because it would keep her busy, but wasn't a whole lot like work. So I gave her the opportunity to come in for a day and be me. And by 10 o'clock that morning, she came and found me. She said, I can't do this. So that's why I say, don't come into it if you think it's an easy job, because it isn't an easy job, but it is so well worth it at the end of each and every day. And the smiles that you see and the hugs you get from the people that you're working with each and every day help you go on and on in your own life.
That is true. And one of the other things, so for all that, and people know how I feel about the touchy-feely stuff, it does work. When you get down to it, a nonprofit is a business. It runs like a business. It's just what you do with the money and your vision and focus and all those things. But you got to have good business practices to make this thing work.
You definitely do, because you're not using... The company doesn't own the money that they operate on.
You're stewards of the money.
Exactly. And, you've got a donor who gives you in good faith money. Well, you've got to turn around and manage that money just as much as, Tesla does or IBM does or any of that, because you owe that person that, and you owe them the opportunity to be able to use their money to serve the people that you're serving at that point in time. One of the worst things that can happen to a nonprofit is for the business practices to go bad. And we never want to see that.
Yeah, because people do and when you hear a nonprofit go and then went sideways or had some issues, it feels different than when a business does it.
Yeah.
Because, it's like a business. It's just like, we're out here to get the money. We're out here to get 1 second. That's it. But a nonprofit, you don't think about that. No. You're thinking about who got hurt because the money didn't, flow to the person who's needed.
Right.
What services were not being able to be rendered because we didn't do the right thing.
Right, exactly.
There you go, Karen Webb, world famous Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. How can people find information out about the chamber, ma'am?
Through our website at chesterfieldchamber.com. Also our LinkedIn page, and my personal LinkedIn page will have feeds about everything we're doing. And we would love to have you come and investigate us and come join us for a monthly luncheon to see who we are and what we're doing.
All you got to do is come there. Now, it may look like a lot of people when you get there. It may look kind of a lot of buzzing going on. But guaranteed by the second or third one, you're one of the people buzzing around because somebody took you in and showed you what's happening out there. So I'd like to thank Karen for coming in. The world famous Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. Well, you know how I feel about that. It's changed the course of my business. So if you want your business to go to the next level, it doesn't matter where you live. Chesterfield's a great place to operate. So on the mic with Mike, Karen Webb. You got to go. Take care now.